I just watched a human envoy executed on a diplomatic stage, Wren said, voice tight. General Calvin Powell didn't look up from the feed. Confirmed? Wren asked again, quieter this time. Powell finally responded, his voice cold steel. You saw what I saw. We all did. So did the rest of the galaxy. Across every major human installation, from Mars to the asteroid colonies of Proxima, reactions were erupting. On Titan, riots had broken out in the lower levels of Dome 9. At the interstellar port of Rhea Prime, civilian operators halted all outbound traffic in protest. On Earth, Unity broadcast systems collapsed under a deluge of requests, billions trying to replay the moment over and over, desperate to understand. He was unarmed, muttered Marcus Hale, strategic chief. No trial, no warning. Doesn't matter, Admiral Greer snapped. They wanted us to see it, every second of it. Powell said nothing at first, then, status of our off-world assets. From the adjacent monitoring deck, Commander Julian Godot replied without hesitation. All cells in silent position, nothing triggered, yet. Wren's composure cracked, his voice sharpened with fury. We have to respond, Calvin, now. We can't let this go unanswered. You want war? Greer cut in. Then let's hit Velcro first. Light them up. Every weapon we've got. Let the Council see what Earth means when we stop asking. Powell's tone dropped an octave. And who pays for that? He asked. The civilians living under Council satellites? The fringe worlds forced to bow their heads because they can't afford independence? You want them vaporized because Cale Vin wanted a spectacle? Silence followed. No one responded. Because everyone knew. It wasn't a rhetorical question. If we retaliate blindly, Powell continued, we become them. No process, no law, just violence. That's not how we win. That's how we lose everything Marin stood for. He stepped forward, hands still behind his back. His voice hardened. Activate the Annihilation Protocol. Silent deployment. No declarations, no signals. Gasps rippled across the room. Marcus Hale leaned forward, his voice barely a whisper. Calvin, that protocol was designed for existential collapse. Powell's fists clenched behind his back. I helped design it, he said flatly. If Earth institutions are the target, not ships, not borders, but the legitimacy of our diplomatic existence, then it qualifies. The threshold has been crossed. There was no vote, just silence. Then Greer exhaled. So be it. 10:52 GST, Command Node, Lunar Black Ops Console. Lieutenant Ezra Quaid entered the final activation codes. Across the classified systems buried under the lunar complex, signals turned green. In the yellowest reach, a communications beacon, disguised as a mining rig, activated deep in the asteroid fog. Near the pulsar fields of Drax 3, 3 stealth-class vessels emerged from camouflage shells, shaking. In total, 14 Earth shadow cells initiated movement, each positioned near vital Council supply corridors across 7 star systems. At Powell's directive, there were no plasma bolts, no announcements, only signal jamming, sabotage algorithms, and embedded backdoors activating inside Council infrastructure. Because Powell didn't want war, he wanted proof. Earth Diplomatic Analysis Center, Geneva. Dozens of intelligence analysts worked around the clock, reviewing holographic data from the moment of Marine's execution. On a central holoscreen, the feeds displayed 100 alien delegates, each frozen at critical timestamps. Facial expressions, micro-movements, vitals. Look at the Vraxi ambassador, said Specialist Tobias Venn, pointing. No change in pulse, no shift in posture. The Ectune representative didn't flinch either, added Analyst Marlowe. His antennae didn't even twitch. They knew, Venn said. Hell, they were waiting for it. Cross-reference with their private comm logs, ordered Director Jerome Keller. I want behavior patterns, hour by hour. By hour 2, the first leak surfaced. A fragment from a Council logistics station orbiting Cal Morris Prime. Surveillance showed the station's technicians disabling navigation beacons hours before the broadcast. Drone cameras were fixed to controlled angles. By hour 3, intercepts uncovered encrypted chatter between a Delcar diplomat and an unnamed source on Velcarin Prime. Handle the announcement carefully, before the body hits the floor. Luna Command War Room, 1428 GST. General Powell stood motionless as intel poured in. They'll spin it, Wren warned. Say he resisted, say he was armed, say it was justified. Powell's eyes didn't waver. Let them. We won't answer their lies with outrage. We'll answer them with evidence. Their own words, their own silence. Council territory, fracture begins. On the outer edge of Council-controlled systems, anomaly spread. Trade hubs lost contact with logistics nodes. Weapons platforms failed sync. Satellite data mismatched. Administrators filed confused reports. Investigations launched. No one knew what was happening, but on intercepted comms, one name kept surfacing: Earth. Signal intercept, TAR-6, unscheduled broadcast. Inside a secure monitoring chamber, Specialist Deacon flagged a signal. Sir, we're picking up a pirated broadcast. From TAR-6, cutting through CouncilNet. On screen, a flickering, low-res transmission appeared. A young woman from the Arini people, a species long oppressed by Council law, stared into the lens. Her voice was distorted but strong. To the people of Earth, we saw what they did. We've seen what they've always done. Thank you for reminding us someone still speaks. The transmission cut, scrubbed from official feeds, but it had already been copied, shared, embedded. The response spreads. On Adro Station, a circle of Valari. On the moons of Elton's ring, miners painted the old human sigil, 3 arcs and a star, on the sides of their excavation rigs. In neutral sectors, some whispered, others prepared. Luna Command, final directive. Powell studied the live ops map. New indicators flashed into alignment. All cells in position, Godot confirmed. Begin silent phase 2, Powell ordered. Sweep Council signal networks, full internal override protocols. He turned to Quaid. Tell Strategic Command, no moves are accidental, no actions are emotional. From now on, we control every variable. Yes, sir. He looked once more at the darkened feed that had played Marin's death on repeat. He didn't blink. He didn't speak. But something behind his eyes had changed. Not grief, calculation. Dustin Marin had believed in diplomacy. Now, Earth would wield it as a weapon, and the galaxy would learn what it means when Earth speaks with both hands free. Across the stars, Operation Annihilation begins. At 4:37, local time, a freighter vanished from the Tryon Exchange route. No explosion, no mayday, only silence. By 4:42, 7 additional trade corridors went dark, each critical to Council supply lines. On the stealth cruiser Veritas, orbiting above Vascan 3, Commander Manfred Ward watched blackout protocols execute across 6 systems. Confirm breach sectors 3 through 7, Ward ordered. Telemetry packages injected, replied Lieutenant Cale Morrow. Navigation systems now reporting phantom asteroid fields. No movement without triggering our filters. Engage breach routines at Kalari Relay. Tag the archive, but leave the core untouched. Ward paused. We want noise, not fire. Luna Command, final report. Powell stood at the center of it all, surrounded by silent officers in blinking feeds. Status? He asked. Operational across all systems, Quaid responded. No civilian casualties. All actions remain in shadow. Powell gave a single nod. Good.